You gotta turn it on, man. There we go. Hey,
There we go. Hey, Dumb
yo,
Marketer Show,
we're
episode
back at you.
7. Episode
Let's
7.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing good. Hey, our last episode was actually well received. It got
Did
more
somebody
views.
tell you this or what?
Well, no, I judged this based solely on views. It got more views than the first two, like almost put together.
Okay. All
Than
right.
the
Well.
last two episodes 5 and 6. It like beat 5 and 6 put together.
All right. Okay.
So
And that put us at what? 12?
yeah,
12?
12 or something like that. Yeah, it's like hey, you know. I know one of those is you, but
Yeah. I watch it all the way through, man. I'm a dedicated customer.
I can tell you that I'm not one of those views because I watch it twice in the editing process, and so by that time I'm
You
sick
don't
of
want to
hearing
see it a
myself
third
talk.
time?
No, I'm sick of hearing myself talk, so I just like don't watch it again.
Understood. I get it.
So that means like 10 or 11 people outside of me and you watched it.
Hey, there's at least a few out there. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll take it. Okay, great. Well, hey, welcome back, Luke. Welcome back from Dallas. You did some traveling this week. That's fun. You're
I
back.
did, yes.
Okay, you're
Two,
back.
two, 2 day event in Dallas. That was pretty cool. 1,000 watt. I'll just give you props. It was a good event. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. You gonna go back next year?
I don't know. I was a fill in this time around, so I don't know if I'll be the priority next year. We'll see.
If you had the choice to, though, would you?
Uh, yeah, I probably would. Yeah,
Good,
I thought there was some really good content covered, and I don't know. We'll see.
good. Yeah, that's excellent. Cool. Yeah. So you were a road warrior, going down to Dallas from Minnesota. I was doing a lot of media. I was in a lot of meetings this week, doing a lot of strategic planning and stuff. So
Yeah, you were the planning guy this week. Holy
it was a
moly!
busy week.
Right
It was a busy week. The highlight though was got to go to Top Golf on Monday, and I finished third in the long drive contest.
out of 4 people. Nice job.
4 people. Yeah, it was. Yeah, yep. And the fourth person didn't even
Didn't
compete.
show up.
So, yeah, right. So it was good. I was happy about that.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. I've never been to Top Golf. I still want to try that out.
What?
I know.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
I gotta take the boy too. Has Joe been there?
oh yeah. We should just all four of us just go.
Yeah, we should do that. Let's make it a
Yeah.
foursome.
We also have to go to that video game place I was telling you about too.
Yep.
The retro video game
We
place.
just take a day and just knock them both out.
I mean, I love that idea.
I do too.
I love that idea for us. Okay. Anyways, today this will not be an hour and 15-minute show.
I'll say that.
We have what we say in the corporate world. We have what we call a hard stop,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and you have a hard stop. So we are
I
going
do.
to record as much as we can before you bail, and then I'm just going to keep talking. I'm just
Is that
going to
right?
keep no, no, not accurate. Okay, and so I had
We
told
just lost all of our viewers. Thanks,
yeah,
man.
they're like, okay, well now we know when Luke leaves. We'll leave. Um, okay, so I mentioned to you I did have something I want to talk about.
I know, and I can't wait to hear it because it's going to be a surprise. I know nothing about it.
Yep, this is something. And so this week I've been just thinking a lot because I haven't had time to do any work. I didn't really do any work this week. Like I'm talking like my own stuff, like my own website and stuff. I just didn't have any time. I was busy every night and all that kind of stuff. But I've been hearing people talk about things, and I've been hearing um, some podcasts that just it was like kind of like hearing something when you needed to hear it, you know,
Yeah.
and then watching this facilitator gentleman that we had at work this week, and just like all this stuff kind of all came together at the same time. So my brain's been just kind of just thinking, pondering, and then I see this post on YouTube um, early this morning, and it's actually written by that Greg Eisenberg, who was the guy that interviewed the Gumloop guy.
Got it.
So the video that you watched,
Mm-hmm.
the interviewer was Greg Eisenberg, and I subscribed to his YouTube channel after you showed me that Gumloop episode.
Yep.
So he posted this thing on YouTube. It's a community post, so it's not a video, and I'll link to it in the description. But this pretty much just spoke to me. And again, it's one of those things where it just kind of hit at the right time. So anybody who's watching this, who's got maybe some freelance stuff going on, or they're trying to build their own business, or um, or have dreams or visions of one day doing their own thing, I think this is incredibly relevant. Also, I don't know about you, Luke, but I'm kind of, and have been for a while, just kind of stuck in the mud. Like, just kind of like, I'm doing stuff, but I'm not really making huge traction. I'm not really moving the ball, super far. I'm doing some things that feel good. I'm doing things I like, but like, am I really building anything? Am I really setting myself up for the future that I want right down the road? And this post kind of brings all that together because it's kind of a little bit inspirational, but it's also a little bit like tactical, but like simplistic tactical, not like. So I just wanted to read it.
It's simplistic, tactical for dumb marketers like us.
Yes, right.
Okay, good. Perfect audience.
Okay, it's not like super long, but it's a little lengthy, but I'll break it up into pieces, and I'd love to get your feedback on this. Okay? Because I think what this guy wrote is like I read it at the right time. It came across my feed at the right time, I think. Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
here's how it starts. I'm just going to read it if you don't mind.
Please.
Okay. So he starts off. He goes, "By the way, I figured it out. You find a weird little corner of the internet that's growing but underserved. Maybe it's dental practices, maybe it's nurses. It doesn't matter. Just needs to have problems that you actually want to solve, and they have some cash. You create an audience. It doesn't need to be huge, but it has to trust you. Start posting. Test content like you're testing a product. Hooks, formats, distribution. Use Claude to help you rewrite. Use ChatGPT 4 to spin visuals. Steal what works. Remix it. Be consistent. 90 days of posting will do more than 1 year in stealth mode." I feel like I'm in stealth mode all the time. I love
Mm-hmm.
how I said that. The best part is that you are building, the best part about this is you building your intuition. Now you're learning what you should be building. As you're learning, build tools. And then he lists some tools. Use Replicate, Bolt. I don't know what those tools are. He goes, whatever makes it fast. Don't wait for the perfect idea. I tend to do that. Build something small and solve one real pain. Make it stupid simple. Price it at $19 a month. Test it on your own audience. Use Lindy to schedule meetings. Gumloop to find long tail keywords. ChatGPT Vision to start scanning landing pages. You're the orchestrator. Software does half your job, if not more. And don't hire too fast. You don't build a 20-person team to do what agents can do overnight. Your first 3 hires, and he has hires in quotes, are AI agents trained on your SOPs. When you do hire humans, they're AI natives, not afraid of tool types. They know how to write, ship, automate, and vibe. They're leveraged to the max. Then you build a brand people love, not a cute logo, not a professional font. I mean warm and fuzzy stuff. Funny launch videos, packaging that makes people smile, a community that feels different. Your audience makes them proud to share. They feel like they found you before the rest of the world did. This is where I was thinking about you and True Identity, that paragraph.
Mm.
You test 3 price points. You pick a business model way different than your competition. You build a wait list. You slowly let people in. You let your community shape version 2. The last paragraph. And the key, by the way, you don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Most people bail right before it gets interesting. You stay in the game.
Yep.
You be consistent, not perfect, just present.
Yep.
Last sentence. That's how you build something that changes your life.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a lot in that brief writing.
A lot.
He packaged up a lot.
Yeah.
He basically summarized the 2-day event I was just at. I shit you not.
Who explain?
Oh man, where do I begin? The industry that I work in is real estate. It's very vanilla right now because everybody's kind of doing the same thing.
Yep.
The whole emphasis of the conference was to find your own signal within the madness, the vanilla.
Mhm.
So be unique, differentiate, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so that's one thing that he touched on.
Yep.
Another thing that he touched on. Attention is not the goal. This is a different speaker. Attention is the gatekeeper. So everybody needs the attention in order to actually get purchasers, right?
Mhm.
Paying clients, paying customers. But that's not the goal.
Mhm.
What you want is to be as genuine as possible, as real as possible, to show your experience, achievements, expertise. But not only that, the process that you go through, the flaws that you have, the misfires that you experience. People want to know you're a human.
Mhm.
In this world of AI prioritization to streamline and make things efficient and faster, easier, so we get more time
Mhm.
to actually be more of ourselves.
Mhm.
um, we're using AI, unfortunately, the wrong way to be like everybody else because it's feeding itself off the same information.
Mhm.
So people aren't taking the time to make it their own. Instead, they're just relying on AI to make it the way that AI decides.
Mhm. Yep.
So, I mean, the event I went to was all about brand and strategic marketing. So it was right in line with what he's talking about because that is how you build a business: is you build a brand. So
Mhm.
very similar. Um, I think it was very well written. I mean, his bullet points are spot on, and he breaks it down into a nice process that everybody kind of needs to flow.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. So I mean, obviously, it hit home for you. Where did you go mentally since you've been swimming in your mind?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, where do I start? I mean, well, every single paragraph um, was something different that I've been grappling with. The first one, he talks about the audience, finding just finding an underserved market that has questions, and if you have that, as long as you show up and you provide them answers or you provide them guidance,
Mm-hmm.
basically he's saying almost like build it and they will come
Yeah.
and they will pay because they've got money, because they have a problem that they need solved. And I don't think that's the problem. I don't think that's the problem. I think um, for me the problem is settling on the audience that I want to serve,
Mm-hmm.
and then really narrowing in on providing. He mentions building something unique and something different, like build a business model that nobody else is doing.
Yeah.
That kind of falls in line with blue ocean strategy, which I'm a huge fan of.
Yes.
And so
Yeah. It's exactly the same.
yeah, and I think, you know me, I like to think about new crazy ideas and new, like, so I don't know if that's the problem for me. So there's all these things out there that he mentions, he talks about, that I feel like I have a I know how I would do that thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't tied them all together. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't tied them all together. So that's kind of where then he talks a little bit about, like, I mean, he says it like he says well, I mean, he says a bunch of things. But I love the part where he says basically just show up. Um, uh, where's the one thing he says? Oh, be consistent.
Yep.
90 days of posting will do more than 1 year in stealth mode. The best part is that you're building your intuition. Now you're learning what you should be building. I mean, I love that concept.
Yep.
And so showing up, being present every day, and that can be hard when you're in a position like me you're in now where we're doing some things when we can.
Yep.
But the problem, I think, is that we don't see much of a return,
Yep.
right? We don't see much of a return. And I think that that really makes it hard for people in our place because when you do something, it's nice to. I'm not suggesting instant gratification here. I'm not saying like you do something and the next day you sell $1,000 worth of something. But I'm
Hmm.
saying me and you, we're building things, but we're not really making anything in return right now.
Right.
And I feel like that is for me at least, that is um, it's a little deflating. So it takes away a little bit of um, the hunger,
Yep.
or a little bit of the like morale. Maybe that's a better way to put it. It
No,
takes away
no.
from the morale a bit because it's like,
Yeah, it's like a swift kick to the gut, right? It
yeah,
knocks the wind out of you when you're not seeing any kind of signs, right,
yep,
of a
right,
return being made, whether it's an audience built or an engagement with a
hmm,
survey or it's a purchase on your site, whatever it is, you're not seeing the metrics you want to see
right,
to prove that what you're doing is actually building momentum. Not even like delivering on the final goal. Is it actually gaining traction, right?
yep,
So I feel you. I'm with you. And the first 6 videos that we've done,
hmm,
I haven't had a ton to share regarding True Identity, even though it's the thing I want to do, right?
hmm,
And the reason is because I've been floundering with prioritization, and I literally took this past weekend to spend some time rethinking the business model because I've had so many different thoughts from when I originally had wrote it back in 2019. And I've changed all kinds of things, and it's time. It's time to rethink the concept of what True Identity really is, what the business model looks like, who I'm going to be marketing to and talking to and serving. And I'm in that position right now. So this is a very relevant conversation for me because that's the brain space that I'm busy with. So in addition to some of the things you identified in what he wrote as far as a consistency and just showing up, it was loud and clear through numerous speakers at this event that I was at that is what needs to happen. And those who are not doing anything are the losers that are not going to make any money because you have to be actively engaged with your audience at this time of business. You just do.
hmm,
It's not even an option anymore. So to think that you can sit on the sidelines is not a realistic strategy. So you have to think of ways that you can get involved in it. So it isn't about delivering on. It isn't about delivering on the. Let me go back. What you had said is we're not seeing anything to keep the morale up, right? Um,
hmm,
so my mind went to the part of the building process, right? Part of
yeah,
the building process is you don't really have a proof of concept when you're in the midst of building something because it's not built yet. So you really haven't proven it out.
right,
But we're still looking for the signs,
hmm,
right? There was a person who said um, that you want to see. What was it? I'm trying to remember exactly what he had said. Um, I don't even recall now. It's slipping my mind, and I apologize to anybody who's watching this video. I'm half-minded right now just because it's
no,
been a crazy week.
that's all right. It's all good.
But ultimately, I think what I'm trying to get to is you're not going to know all the answers, and marketing is basically one big flat out experiment, and you got to try it, and you got to try different things. So you're a mad scientist in a lab trying to build a business, and the way to do that is through marketing.
Mhm.
Marketing is an experiment that is one after the other, and you can't hold on to what you've done in the past. You got to try something new every day.
Mhm.
Eventually, you're going to find things that are going to work out.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
we, yeah, I'm speaking to you and myself and anybody else who's trying to do something like this, are grinding, and we're working in addition to a job, family, and whatever else. Um, that time allocation is so valuable for us that we get pissed if we don't see any progress. And
Yep.
we start to second guess ourselves and we start to wonder if what we're doing is really valuable. Does it even matter? Am I doing the right things? Is this
Mhm.
effort going to bring me to where I'm trying to go?
Mhm.
I personally feel, for you and myself, that we are trying to do so much that we're not doing things well. And I think it's because we're trying to build out this gigantic business
Mhm.
for our futures 20 years down the road. And we're already thinking of shit that we're going to try to build for that
Mhm.
when we're literally in the growth phase, probably in day 2 versus,
Mhm.
year 20.
Mhm.
So I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. I think we're trying to just be too much at um, trying to be too much, too big, and going too far. And we need to get back to the grassroots, reestablish who it is that we're trying to be, what we're trying to do, and who we're trying to serve.
Mhm.
And I think that will help guide us as to where we need to reprioritize and not make it as big and boisterous as we've been trying to do.
Yeah, he actually kind of alludes to that when he says, where is it here? Yeah, right here he goes. Um, don't wait for the perfect idea. Build something small and solve one real pain. Make it stupid simple. Price it at $19 a month. Test it on your own audience. That's exactly what you're just talking about. Instead of building
Yep.
these big elaborate things, he literally just says,
Yep.
solve one pain and make it stupid simple.
Yep. A month ago, I was spending multiple days trying to figure out um, multiple products at multiple price points for multiple audiences.
Mhm.
And I got it all laid out and I was happy with it. And here I am a month later going, what the hell am I going to do with that? I,
Mhm.
I don't have the bandwidth, one, to build all that. Two, I, I don't have the time to build it, market it, right?
Yep.
It's like, what am I doing? That's a waste of time. I need to focus. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's spot on.
Yeah. Yep.
Pick
And that,
something and build it.
yep. Yep. And just make it stupid simple, so to speak.
Yeah.
Stupid
Yep.
simple. So I love that concept, and yeah, I tend to overthink things too, and think about all these different, maybe like purchase tiers or membership tiers I'll have, and what's in every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like maybe just start with one.
Yep.
You start with the one, and maybe start with like one idea within that model that you want to build. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
so
I think part of the, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe this doesn't apply to you, but I think part of why I do that is my fear of what I'm working on now will become irrelevant and I need something else, right? Like everything is so quick to die these
yep,
days,
yep,
right? Whether it's social engagement or
mhm,
the most recent news story or whatever it is, people don't remember you a week later. So it's like I don't want to become irrelevant if I'm putting all this time and effort into a single product.
yep,
And my fear is I have to have a quiver of arrows of those products that I have to go in with. Otherwise, I'm going to become irrelevant. So I
yep.
think that's part of my fear.
For me, the fear is not having enough options to reach a sizable market.
That too. Oh yeah, that's very applicable. Mm-hmm.
Like, I fear that if I just have one thing to offer,
Yep.
I won't reach 99% of the
Too
audience that I
too
really
small
want
of a target
to
audience. Yeah.
target audience. So, but to his point in the post, like, but that's where you start. It doesn't mean you can't be,
Right.
you can't have more down the road, but you can't have anything unless you start building that first thing
Yep.
and making that
Yeah.
really, really good.
And I've always told myself that, even if as I went through this process of future products and trying to figure out how I branch out and become more broad based in different markets with different audiences. But at the same time, it's still like you don't need to think about that yet.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
really don't. Focus on what you're trying to do because that's not relevant to today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you're wasting time.
And what's crazy is these are things we've heard time and time
Over and
again.
over and
I've
over.
read it in books.
Yep.
I've read it in articles. I've
Yep.
seen it in YouTube videos,
Yep.
but it's just always such a, I think, hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. I mean, it comes down to discipline. It really does. Because to your point, we've been told this 1,000 times in one way or another. We know it.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're actually experiencing it,
Mm-hmm.
we don't realize we're experiencing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It doesn't even dawn on us until we sit down and we have one of these meetings where it's like, dude, I'm going through the same process. I'm struggling too. Right? And
Mm-hmm.
they were like, seriously, I know better. I know better than this. Why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's part of being human. That's part of the flaws of yeah, but you still do stupid shit, right?
And we are not alone. There,
No.
there's
Oh no.
there's a million other people in the same spot and have the same.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
I know that, like, through the years of where I've come, I know there are past things that now I'm past. Like, for example, and what I'm getting at here is that hopefully the self barriers are starting to become less and less.
Mm,
Like, one of the self barriers for me used to be like imposter syndrome.
hmm. Yeah, we've talked about that a lot over the years.
That actually is less, and that is playing less and less of a role in mind share now
Well, that's a good thing.
for me. Yeah, because I think I've come to accept the fact of two things. Number one, I've put in a lot of years.
Hmm.
I've seen a lot of things. I do know stuff. I
Yep.
do. I do actually know enough that the things I want to say and the voice I want to have does matter.
Yeah, I'm glad you're touching on this because I wanted to talk about this too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel like my experience, the time I put in, the things I've learned, the massive amount of books I've read,
That's
like,
awesome.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
actually, I'm not an imposter. I actually have a relevant voice in this. And then the second thing that I've come to, uh, which kind of falls in line with imposter syndrome, is, well, people have that's already been talked about. That's already been a topic that's been addressed millions of times. So
Hmm.
why should I address it? Well, I'm also getting over that now too, because I'm realizing more and more every single day that my spin on it or my experience around a certain topic is unique and different and might offer some value to someone who is just hearing the same thing over and over.
Hmm.
So those things. So what used to bother me a lot about imposter syndrome or saying, I can't fit into a crowded market, those are kind of dissipating now. And so now it's
Hmm.
these newer challenges that this post kind of touched on. Is so hopefully I'm evolving to a point where those barriers start to collapse a little bit.
Yep. No, that's legit. You expanded on it. I probably don't even need to reiterate what I was going to say because it's very what you said is what I was going to describe because that's what they talked about at this event, which is there could be 10 agents in the market,
Mhm.
right? Or there could be 10 um, operation consultants in the area where you are trying to land some business, Bob, and what you're going to bring to the table is going to be different than all of the other nine.
Mhm.
That's just how it is. And it depends on that customer finding the best fit for them, right?
Mhm.
So that's why it's so important for each of us to be our genuine selves and present ourselves that way. So when we do run across somebody who's interested in our services, they choose us because they think that we're the best fit for them,
Mm.
not just the business.
Right.
That's, I mean, because when you're talking about consultations, when you're talking about services that are even products that are um, personal, right? Shit, a mug can be personal if you want it to be, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So it's like you there is a tie there, and this is again what the event was a lot about. There is a tie there that goes way beyond just a product description. It has to be something that answers and appeals to an individual in some capacity that is far deeper than practical use.
Mhm.
It is an emotional connection for some reason or another.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was literally just looking up consumer value um, types, and there's um, savings, like savings value, money value. There
Mhm.
is practicality, right? It's practical for their lives and what they need. There is emotionally driven value. There's one other one, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but there's four of them,
Mhm.
right? And all of us will choose and select products and services, brands that we associate with,
Yep.
based on the value that we're getting for those four buckets primarily. So it's like to think for a moment that every person that's walking this earth doesn't have something to offer another individual in some capacity
Mhm.
is the wrong point of view.
Yep.
So if you're stuck in that mode, right, of like, what can I do?
Mhm.
You can do a lot, and if you figure out what you actually enjoy doing and want to do, that is relevant for an issue that or a problem that a person is experiencing, that's your gold,
Mhm.
and you need to focus on that and just be yourself doing it. So again, advice for somebody who clearly has struggled with it, and I'm working through it myself. So I
Mhm.
guess that's one reason why I can share it, because I have smarter people telling me that's what needs to be done, and I know that it's a struggle, so I need to focus on it as well. So
Mhm.
I
Yep.
mean, yeah,
Deep.
people need our stuff. We just need to find the people and connect with them.
Yep.
And you can't do that by just doing a simple YouTube about dumb marketers. You have to actually, talk to the people.
That's fair.
Yep.
This is just part of the overall brand you're trying to build.
This is just one little nugget in the bucket of nuggets.
Yep.
So
Which is why, as you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, about I think it was related to SEO, but where the concept was you got to be everywhere.
yeah,
Um, like,
you be where your users are, your audiences. Yeah,
yeah, and I'm sure you
which
having,
is everywhere.
yeah, you having such an extensive brand marketing background, you know that the best place to get in front of people is everywhere, right? Billboards, TV, radio, podcasts, website, social media, right? I mean, you're
Attention.
you're increasing your odds of getting attention.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
Attention is not the goal. It is the gatekeeper. You want the attention. That's what's gonna get you eyeballs. That's what's gonna get you people talking. That's what's gonna get you engagement with individuals to actually make the connections that are necessary for decisions to be made for purchases.
yep,
If not today, but down the road.
right, for sure. Which is why last point. So I know we got to wrap up here pretty quick. When he says this part right here. Then you build a brand people love, not a cute logo, not professional fonts. I mean, a warm and fuzzy stuff. Funny launch videos, packaging that makes people smile, a community that feels different. your audience makes them proud to share. They
Yep.
feel like they
I like
found
that line
you.
the best. Yep.
I like this one too. They feel like they found you before the rest of the world did.
Yeah, that's a good one too. But I really like the proud to share one. I think that's a very important one for a business owner.
Yeah, super duper. Yeah, so I'll put a link to this in the description, so anybody who wants to stumble across it and interact with it, I'm going to leave a comment on it. I haven't commented on it yet. I just liked it, but I definitely have something I want to share. So I'm going to comment on it. But I don't know. It just kind of, again, right place.
Universe decided to speak to you this week, bro.
Yeah, in a whole bunch of different ways across
Right?
a whole bunch of different
Just wanted
things.
to make sure you got the point.
Yep, just got to cross my path. Oh, here's another one.
Well, you know, it does that sometimes.
Yeah, so it's all good.
Yep.
But yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to touch on today.
I think that was a great discussion. I think that was probably one that somebody will need somewhere down the road, and hopefully they get a chance to hear us numbskulls discuss it.
I hope so too. Whether it's 24 hours from now or 24 years from now, hopefully they'll.
That's right. Yep. I
Oh,
just
this
want to
is
hit them. I just want to hit them at the point so they can realize they are not alone. There are others who have experienced it, and even people who know better go through the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, I know we got to go, but I heard something really interesting. I just wanted to put in your head because it kind of blew my mind. I was listening to a podcast a few days ago,
Yeah.
and it was a podcast about all the content that we're generating now in the world, thanks to like AI and stuff like that. And the podcast guest asked the host, 100 years from now, do you think that people will come back to the stuff us as humans made now? Because they'll have been so burnt out on everything being just generated just instantaneously in their head by machines. Like, will they like kind of like how we go back and read books that were written, 100 years ago?
Yeah.
Um, like I sat there for a minute just dumbfounded by that question because I was like,
It's a great question.
I'm making a lot of stuff right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm making stuff that I don't know if it'll be around in 100 years. I mean, if hopefully YouTube will be around 100 years now, it'll be a completely different thing. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
probably telepathically implanted in your brain or something. But I'm just saying, like
Mm-hmm.
this video,
Yeah.
everything we're creating, will someone stumble across it 100 years from now and be like interested in what we were thinking?
Yeah. It's fun to think about. It'd be cool as hell if somebody actually did, run across it like that. I mean, think about the archives from the 1800s.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We read that stuff now. I
Right.
mean, we read books from, you know, Marcus Aurelius and like Caesar and all those guys who wrote things, and we've read those over
Yep.
time and have been interested about how their brains worked.
Right.
So,
It'll be
so
interesting.
with that, to the person who's watching this 100 years from now, welcome.
We just need you to do a few things.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe.
Or whatever you have to do to a video
Right?
100 years from now, just do
Right?
that thing.
Exactly.
But no, but I thought it was really interesting. So, okay, we'll wrap this up. So, please like, comment, subscribe, share this podcast with other folks. Check out truemidentity.com. Take the questionnaire. I'm going to push that every week.
Yes,
Take the
please.
questionnaire. I just took it again recently for like the third time.
I just
And
had a surge of direct traffic the last 2 days. I don't know where it's coming from, but
well,
it was good to see.
you'll have to give us an update on that
Right?
down the road. And yeah, so, and then bobsnaggy.com if you want to check out what I'm doing. I'm adding some more stuff on there. At least that's my plan this weekend when I don't have anything going on other than watching the Masters. So
Wonderful.
I will be doing that. So, all right. I think that's all we got. Any closing thoughts?
I don't have any closing thoughts. I think anybody who may be struggling with whether or not they're providing value, you just need to focus on it.
and I have no more thoughts because my brain is completely fried from this week. So
Exactly. I'm right there with you. I tried to make it real succinct.
yeah, I'm done, bro.
All right, bro.
All right, peace
Oh,
out.
bye. Till next time.
Peace out.